Hello and a very warm welcome back to the Potters Pundits. Now, today we have got the preview for Stoke's fixture against Blackburn, and I am joined by the very amazing, the legend that is from Blackburn Roverseas. It's Dirk, everyone. How you doing, Dirk?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Personally, I'm okay. In regards to my team, not that good. It's probably been one of the worst weeks of Rovers. I don't know what the word is. Just everything seems to be toxic right now. We're in a bit of a bad state on the field and just chaos off the field.
Yeah,
But besides all that, I'm all right.
you're doing good. At least you're doing all right. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, when you're a fan of a club, especially in the Championship, that maybe aren't enjoying their time, it's not the most amazing thing in the world, is it?
Especially where we both are right now. Stoke and
Yeah.
Rovers are not on the best of lucks right now, and both in search of a morale boosting victory, I think.
Yeah, I mean, so let's have a look at it. A big fixture for both teams, in all fairness, a really big game where you win, it could potentially absolutely change everything. There's a point between Blackburn and Stoke. Blackburn, of course, in 18th, Stoke in 20th. Basically, I'll start with of course Blackburn. And there's so much going on. Is the manager going? What's happened with the kind of Duncan Maguire stuff? There's so much going on. It's insane. What's kind of your kind of debrief of it all? Of course, it's insane.
It is insane. I don't know. I don't know 100%. I'm getting news from all angles, from private WhatsApp groups, from Discords and Twitter and everything. I'm getting all kinds of stuff pinged at me. But I believe JDT will probably not be on the dugout come kickoff for Saturday. I don't know who will be taking over the reins. Because if I'm putting two and two together, if JD Thomason is not our coach, his assistant probably won't be there either. So it'll be a big question mark as to who will be making the decisions come match day. As for the Maguire business, it's rinse and repeat, really. It's a frustrating transfer saga that we've just witnessed something like this last year with Lewis O'Brien, a person I think I think many teams, I think all 24 clubs would have liked Lewis O'Brien to be in the middle of their midfield,
Yeah.
and of course last year he could have been the difference. He could have got us that extra point, which of course would have get us achieved playoffs for us last season, but. Turn the clock around now, 12 months, and now we are looking. We were hoping to pin our hopes on a young American forward who could have added the goals that would have at least removed any relegation concerns that we now currently have. So
Yeah.
that is an ongoing beast, which I believe will not work out this season. Who knows if there's some domino effect that he may still, even though I don't know why he would, join us in the summer. But right now, it's looking unlikely he'll be pulling on the blue and white halves.
Yeah, I mean, going back to kind of that point about John Dahl Tomasson being at the club, and obviously it's been such. I mean, like Stoke. I mean, of course, Stoke lost the last three. Blackburn haven't obviously won in the league, apart from kind of the FA Cup. They haven't won since kind of the December, like early to mid December. Do you think, of course, having John Dahl Tomasson maybe not on in the dugouts will be one of them where, right, okay, bit of a revamp, the fans will be up for it. Do you think it'll be a bit more positive than kind of negative?
I don't think so. I think John, John Dale Thomason had the majority of the fans on his side. I can see this from both sides. The form has to stop. This is relegation form, and any other club would have made that decision to remove the manager a long time ago. But JDT had a style of play. He was part of he was brought in under the plan to instigate or implement a style of football with the team, and we were seeing that we received plaudits, even though we weren't getting the victories, but plaudits from other coaches. Best team we played against all season. And that's fair enough. If we're playing
Yeah,
good football and winning, that's one thing, but playing the good football and losing, is not. It's a results business, and we need to start getting those results. But the from my point of view as a Rovers fan, the chaos is happening behind the scenes, which is then bled. It's all bled all the way through, from the hierarchy through to the coaching staff onto the pitch. So I don't think the problem is our head coach. I think the problem is elsewhere, further up the chain, and unfortunately, the easier way to go is removing the coach than actually removing those above him. So, and if this is true that he is no longer our head coach, we have got to get on board and back whoever will be the man in charge. But I think, well, I am sure most fans from football clubs, especially those in the championship and maybe below, you got to be careful what you wish for, because JDT is one certain manager. You got to be careful what you wish for, because we might end up with a Gareth Ainsworth. No disrespect, I know he's a Rovers fan at heart, but he's not going to have the tools, I think, to drag us up the table where we all so desperately want to be.
Yeah, so I'll put it to you. Obviously, only just a yes and a no, just so you've kind of talked about it. Do you think he should be sacked, or do you think right, we're near the end of, well, close to the end of the season. Let's see how it goes.
I would like to have seen out the season and then reevaluate in the summer. That would have been my approach. I think. Well, I hope there are three more clubs in a worse state than us at the moment, down there towards the bottom. That's what we're pinning our hopes on, is that we are not as bad as the bottom three, even though right now our form book says we are one of the worst in the division at the moment.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, looking at kind of like your past kind of 5 games, of course, you've progressed in, of course, the FA Cup. Sometimes, even though it's against the lower league team, games like that are exactly what you need to kind of find your form. But Stoke and Blackburn, both in kind of a poor run of form. With Stoke, it's one of them where, let's take away the Leicester game where they were a class above us. We didn't take our chances, and we don't really have a striker or an attacking player that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. But when I'm looking at Blackburn, Sammy Smodic's with 21 goals altogether this season. But then, and I was thinking, oh, if he's banging in the goal, surely they've got to be up there. But 18th, I mean, it's one of them. Is it that he's not getting the support he needs, or is it that as a whole, maybe the management, maybe like you said off the pitch, is it that it just isn't clicking at the moment?
Well, it's we are pinning our hopes on Sam with the goals at the moment, and it's been on the top of our shopping list for I don't know 18 months now to get a striker in to be our figurehead, and that was where we were going with, or where I hoped we were going with Maguire, the American. I was excited. I was so excited about the prospect of him coming in on a permanent deal, not a loan, not when we're taking somebody else's youngster, developing them, and of course, and then sending them packing. This was with the prospect of being a permanent deal, coming in, being the figurehead for us moving forward, and then also retaining Sam Gallagher perhaps into the summer, at least having a couple of options up front. And then, of course, when we look further down the road, we've got Telenovic, who is a bit of a lump of coal right now, but hopefully something that we can mold into a striker over in the near future. And again, part of the process, what we were imagining was Maguire coming in. We would then, we've offloaded Niall Ennis to Stoke, who of course will link up with Schumacher, again a forward player who was brought in with the intention to score goals, but never really worked out for him, and has probably been made surplus under the intention to bring in this American. And now everything has gone chaotic, and we're now technically a man down in those attacking ranks. So it's pinning our hopes on Sam. If he's not delivering, where are the goals going to come from? And that's only half of our main problem. Scoring goals, the leaking goals seems to be the major problem at the moment, and then we have got the worst, I think, goals conceded numbers in the division.
Yeah, I mean, touching on Niall Ennis, of course. When I was thinking about kind of the lineup for Stoke, something that I've been doing each week, and it's always been, well, who starts up top? Who's in that front three? Do you think, because obviously he didn't get as he came to the end of his time at Blackburn, he didn't get as much game time as obviously he would have liked. Do you think moving to a club like Stoke, getting the game time, did you see that potential to maybe turn into something that Sammy Smodics is doing?
For Niall Ennis?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I was when so we've only had him. We only acquired his services in the summer from a free from Plymouth. And with his record of I think 15 goals, I think last season, I was excited because we were losing Diaz, who
Yeah.
went off to Spain, of course, who was our main goal threat. I was excited from him, but he arrived a bit out of shape, a bit rusty, and ultimately didn't fit the style JDT wanted, and of course was a bit of a disappointment for us. To be honest with you, but he's such a young guy and still has an exciting future ahead of him in the game. I think this move for him to Stoke is perfect for Niall to showcase, and maybe us for maybe us to regret in the future, because he's going to a coach who knows him, who worked with him at Plymouth and got the best out of him. So I think we are. Deep down, the fan base is kind of licking our lips, or a little bit, sniggering at the transfer fee being paid for Niall Ennis, because we think we might have robbed you blind a little bit. But I think long term, I think you guys may have the last laugh, because he's still young. He's going to a coach that knows him, and the same respect for Niall. He's going to work for a guy who knows how to get the best out of him. So I think in the end, whether or not you guys, no disrespect, there is still a relegation discussion to have for all of us. If especially, at this level, I don't know. I don't know if Niall Ennis is going to be, if he's going to ripping up trees this season for Stoke in the Championship, but maybe in the long term, you'll get the best out of him.
Yeah, I mean, you touched right there how you said how it's one of them where maybe it's kind of worked both ways. Yes, it might have been annoying if Blackburn didn't get a good kind of transfer fee for him, and it is just you brought a player and that's it, because he's a young lad. He's got so much time to develop under, of course, Schumacher that knows exactly how to get his potential out. So it could be a win-win. And long term wise, I prefer us to be looking at players that are gonna be here to develop and learn. So for me, you kind of persuaded me that I feel like he's going to be up top. So that's probably confirmed that thingy. So moving on to the actual game, of course, it's so hard to predict. Probably, I find it so hard to predict Stoke, and you might be kind of likewise. But how do you see it going in terms of kind of like prediction wise? Who do you think's going to stand out the score? Anything kind of to do with what can we see from the game on Saturday?
Okay, well, we are desperate. We are screaming out for a victory, whether it's a scrappy 1-0, penalty, a handball, whatever it takes. If it's a own goal, we don't care right now, as long as we get the result. But the big question is who will be, of course, calling the shots if the rumors are true that JDT is no more. Our does that mean we throw the whole plan or the whole style of play out the window? Do we change it up and go to a more basic approach to the game? Tony Pulis style long ball, just to kind of get something out of this game, because right now it is a results business, and we haven't got the results, like you said, since mid-December in the league. Last fixture, I think it was Bristol City, and since then we've had a couple of close calls, but a couple of very embarrassing ones. Getting stomped by Huddersfield. Not picking up. This is the fourth game of a four game home run for us, and you haven't won any of those. Well, besides the Wrexham game, but we're screaming out for results. And if you read between the lines from the game against QPR, which again we had never lost against QPR in a long time at home, there was a couple of moments where all didn't seem right on the pitch with the players. Sammy Smodic, I think there was a moment where I think he was very disgruntled with his teammates. He was substituted, where he indicated to get substituted, then changed his mind. So all does not seem right on the pitch. So we are in desperate need for a boost. Is this the game that we're going to get the boost? Of course, it's we're looking at this one. We're looking at it. We don't want to look too far ahead. We got the Tony Moby reunion at Birmingham, the game after. So it is a massive 2 games for us as a season at the moment, because we just got to get back on track and find a result. But I know from recent years anyway, despite the reverse fixture at your place this season, Stoke have always been a pain in my backside. Whenever we played against them, I remember I was actually traveling long ways, and listened to the game on. I think you were 3-0 up or something last season at your place. We clawed it back 3-2, but ultimately. The only recent good memory I have against Stoke was earlier in the season. But besides that, it's not been been a pleasant opponent to play against.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, I mean, if was it something like 3-0, I think, in the reverse fixture at Stoke, and I mean, if you can do that at home at Stoke, why can't you do it in your own in your own park? But for me, I really don't know. I mean, Stoke are in kind of 3 losses in a row now. I can't see us losing. Not in a way of saying I don't think Blackburn are going to smash us. I just think a 1-1 is just maybe the fairest result, and neither team kind of deserve. Maybe didn't take the game, and it's just one of them where, well, it's a point better than no point.
Well, if you are going to push me for a scoreline and a result, I have sided with a Rovers victory, but if that's more in hope, more than hope than belief. I don't believe in the team right now. I really don't. However, let's put a big pin in that one because we have added. I know we got screwed over or not screwed over. We screwed ourselves over with the Maguire mess, which we know is not going to come our way. But we did bring in 4 players within the window, at least on the deadline day. We got McFadden. Might not be the youngest guy in the world, but he's an experienced leader at the back. Yeah. So we haven't seen him in action yet. We got John Fleck from Sheffield United. Again, hasn't played that much football this season, but he does have a wand of a foot and might provide some mentorship in the middle of the field. So we haven't seen those guys in action. Maybe this is the moment where some of those leaders stand up, grab us by the scruff of the neck, and just drag us to a victory that we desperately need heading in. Because besides these next 2 games, we got rough old Preston up ahead. They're doing all right. That's a derby that we always recently struggled against, and some other difficult games really ramping up. So we need this win. No disrespect to Stoke. Hopefully it is this weekend, but I wouldn't bet on us at the moment. I wouldn't bet on Rovers because we are a circus right now. Absolute madness. I don't know. I've never seen such chaos at Rovers at the moment. I don't know when the end is coming.
Yeah, I'm going to push it for a score, I'm afraid. I mean, you said about hoping for the 3 points. Of course, I'd absolutely love if the Potters got a 3 points, but what are you thinking?
I've done a prediction thing out there already, or will be out later. 2-1 win. I've gone for Rovers on this. We will have not kept a clean sheet in I don't even know when. I don't even know the last time we had a clean sheet. I've probably Stoke. I think it was Stoke was the last clean sheet way back in November. So we haven't got one of them. Pears has been better in goal. I'll give him that. He's wasn't my tip for the number 1 jersey, but I'll go 2-1. But realistically, it could be chaos. It could be chaos in the other way. It could be a 4-0 win for Stoke because right now the fan base, if not in meltdown right now as we're recording, it'll be a meltdown tomorrow when this news really sinks in, if true, about JDT leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it really could be. It's a huge game for both teams. I'd love to say I'm excited, but I never know. I'm excited in the sense that if we play the football that we played before the 3 losses, we could potentially not turn it around, but show a glimpse of staying up this season, which I think we will. But a really exciting one. Thank you so much for coming on, by the way, Dirk. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure is all mine. Appreciate it, and hopefully Stoke have a good end to the season, starting on Sunday.
Yeah, wow. There we go then. But that's all we have time for. It's been an absolute honor having him on. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel. Does some great stuff, and you will not want to miss it. But for now, hopefully Stoke get the win. 3 points coming the way on Saturday. Sorry, Dirk. But for now, I'll see you guys later.